Dragon Ball GT takes place after the events of Dragon Ball Z. 5 years after Goku and Oob departed from the 28th World Martial Arts Tournament for training, they engage in an intense battle within the depths of the Lookout. Their power causes the Lookout to crack and crumble, triggering concern from Dende and Mr. Popo. At the same time, an old Emperor Pilaf, Mai, and Shu arrive at the Lookout, aiming to utilize the Dragon Balls to achieve world domination. They're interrupted by explosions from Goku and Oob though, and when the two finish their battle, they both pass out from exhaustion. Meanwhile, undetected, the Pilaf gang uncovers dusty-looking orbs known as the Black Star Dragon Balls. Pilaf explains that these balls were made before Kami separated himself from Piccolo, are different from the regular Dragon Balls, and are much more powerful. At the same time, with Goku and Oob having healed their injuries, Oob thanks Goku for all the years he's dedicated to training him and heads back home to his family. Goku decides to get himself a meal before heading home himself, telling Dende and Mr. Popo that he hasn't seen Chi-Chi in years, so she'll probably be mad at him. Just then, Pilaf summons Shenron, only to discover he's different than the regular, as he's larger, red, and ultimate. Before Pilaf can make his wish for world domination, Goku encounters his gang while investigating the disturbance. During a brief confrontation and recognizing Goku's familiar appearance, Pilaf, in a fit of anger, accidentally wishes for Goku to be reverted back to a child, unaware that Ultimate Shenron is listening. Shenron grants Pilaf's wish, turning Goku back into his 12-year-old self. Ultimate Shenron then leaves, and the Black Star Dragon Balls scatter. Dende contacts King Kai telepathically, and he tells Goku that the only way for him to return to normal is to have another wish granted on the Black Star Dragon Balls. Goku asserts he'll be able to get them back in no time, but Mr. Popo explains that when the Black Star Dragon Balls scatter, they travel across the entire galaxy. Unfazed, Goku accepts remaining a child until he grows up again and leaves, much to the obvious dismay of Dende and Mr. Popo. Back on Earth's surface, Goku attempts to eat another meal, but is disturbed by an ongoing hostage situation. Nearby, Gohan's daughter Pan is out on a date with one of her classmates when she stumbles across the situation. The criminals continue to cause havoc, and an annoyed Pan intervenes. Shortly afterward, Goku arrives and attempts to take them on himself, causing Pan to pull him aside and tell him not to get involved, not realizing she's talking to her grandfather. Pan easily takes out both criminals with her strength, and her date runs off scared. Suddenly, Master Roshi arrives and greets Pan, Goku recognizing her name. It's not long before Roshi happily recognizes Goku and questions why he's so small. Goku tells Master Roshi that Emperor Pilaf summoned Shenron and accidentally made a wish to turn him back into a kid again. Pan is upset and horrified after discovering that this little boy is actually her grandfather, and Goku, impressed with Pan's fighting ability, appreciates her stopping the criminals and foiling the robbery. Later, Goku returns home, where Chi-Chi bursts into tears upon seeing her husband as a child again. Goku explains to his family what's happened, and Gohan tells his dad that it might be easier for him to just naturally grow back into an adult again. Chi-Chi isn't a fan of this idea, but her outburst is interrupted when King Kai speaks to everyone telepathically. With urgency, he shares the news that, with a wish now made on the Black Star Dragon Balls, the Earth is now in danger of exploding unless all of them are found and returned to the planet within 1 year. He goes on to say that the negative energy left behind from the balls caused this, surprising everyone. This grim news leaves Goku and his family uncertain on what they'll do next. Later, everyone discusses who will head into space to gather the Dragon Balls, Goku initially reluctant to do so due to his tiny size. Of course, he'll be one of the first passengers though, followed by Gohan, who volunteers to help with the search. Pan volunteers to go as well, but everyone dismisses this idea given the danger they could run into. Later at Capsule Corps, Bulma, Videl, and Gohan work on the spaceship, Pan bothering her parents in an attempt to lend a hand. Annoyed as everyone is treating her like a child, Pan leaves Capsule Corps to blow off some steam. The next day, Trunks, now the president of Capsule Corps, sneaks out of headquarters, confronted by Vegeta, who's sporting a new hairstyle and mustache. It's soon revealed that Vegeta has chosen Trunks and Goten to accompany Goku in space instead, believing that the boys have become complacent since Majin Buu's defeat. Back at Capsule Corps, Videl questions Gohan on if he's seen Pan anywhere, both parents realizing that she's nowhere to be found. As Goku, Trunks, and Goten are about to get into the spaceship for departure, Goten is distracted by a phone call from his girlfriend. Goku and Trunks enter the spaceship and discover that Pan has stowed away on board, the little girl activating the engine and initiating liftoff. The spaceship blasts off, leaving Goten behind, though he's relieved as he didn't want to go anyway. As the spaceship leaves Earth, a small circuit falls off and lands at Bulma's feet. prompting her to worry about which part of the ship it belonged to. In space, Trunks attempts to take the ship's override key away from Pan so he could take her home. Pan, however, hides it in her shirt, giving him and Goku no choice but to keep her with them. Tragedy strikes as one of the ship's pieces break off and fall into space, forcing the group to crash land on a planet called Imecka. Surprisingly, the planet doesn't appear to be hostile at first, and the group is charmed by its festive atmosphere. However, they soon realize that the citizens are greedy swindlers, and they quickly become overwhelmed. Goku and the others check into a fancy-looking hotel, only to realize they're being charged for every second they spend in the room. They escape without paying and wander like fugitives at night, found by an Imeckian couple who offer them a place to stay. They explain that Imecka's leader, Don Key, is a greedy tyrant who enforces unfair prices and confiscates residents' belongings. Notably, he uses his pusher bots to seize homes from those in debt, a situation witnessed by Goku and the others. Goku offers to fight Don Key to help, but the Imeckian couple advise against it, warning that Don Key is too powerful and any physical resistance could get them all killed. For now, Goku, Trunks, and Pan decide to comply and spend the night in their spaceship. The following day, Pan urges Trunks to scan the area for a Dragon Ball, the group encountering a small robot named Giru that consumes their Dragon radar. To make matters worse, their spaceship is confiscated by the Imeckian army, leaving them stranded. Goku, Pan, and Trunks embark on a daring mission to reclaim their ship, without which they could be stranded on the planet forever. Goku offers to use instant transmission to follow the Imeckian army, and Pan drags Giru along with them for eating their Dragon radar. Goku attempts to use instant transmission to reach their ship, but both tries fail due to his smaller body. He's no longer accustomed to the technique and currently lacks the abilities he had as an adult, much to the dismay of the group. Instead, they decide to fly to Don Key's castle, where their ship is located. The three cautiously sneak closer to the ship come nightfall, avoiding a confrontation that could worsen their situation. Trunks mentions they may need to fight if necessary, and Pan attempts to board the ship stealthily. She's mistakenly hit by a soda can thrown by a soldier though, causing her to cry. Trunks quickly covers her mouth to prevent the soldiers from hearing, but a rock falls on his head, drawing the soldiers' attention. Goku and the others spring into action, knocking them out one by one. Pan then takes control of the cargo and recklessly rides away with Goku and Trunks. During their escape, they run into two of Don Key's loyal soldiers, Gale and Sheila, though Goku uses a Kamehameha to counteract their attempt to stop them. His blast nearly hits Don Key's palace, but it's swatted away by one of his more capable soldiers, Legic, the stranger noting that the three escaping with the ship are Saiyans. Don Key is furious that they've reclaimed the ship and still owe him a significant debt, the tyrant telling his soldiers that he wants all of them captured immediately. By morning, Trunks suggests they go to town for extra parts due to the additional damage caused by Pan's reckless driving. When they arrive in town, everyone flees, and the group discover, to their dismay, that they're now among Planet Imecka's most wanted, forcing them to evade the police. The trio continue to flee across Imecka while being pursued by the authorities under Don Key's orders. Eventually, they encounter an elderly Imeckian couple who are initially frightened, but after realizing the trio isn't as dangerous as they were made out to be, offer them food and shelter for the time being. Goku, Trunks, and Pan are deeply moved by the injustices the Imeckians endure under the oppressive rule of Don Key. Determined to confront the tyrant, they decide to surrender to the police on purpose, allowing them to head directly to the royal palace for a showdown. At first, it appears to be an easy victory as the trio swiftly defeat Don Key's forces. However, Pan charges in recklessly and falls into one of Don Key's traps. Goku and Trunks try to rescue her but fail, giving Don Key the chance to blast them all away. Luckily for the trio, they prove resilient against gunfire, which leads Legic to step out from the shadows, ready to intervene. Trunks charges at Legic, only to be effortlessly defeated with a single blow. Goku instructs Trunks to take care of the incapacitated Pan while he faces Legic himself. Goku and Legic engage in a fierce battle, with Legic gaining the upper hand. With no other option, Goku transforms into his Super Saiyan form to defeat the latter. He rushes in and quickly overpowers Legic, the warrior responding with a powerful ki attack. Goku returns the favor with a Kamehameha, easily countering Legic's blast and sending it back to him. With the battle over, Goku spares Legic and suggests that he continue training to become stronger, just as he plans to do himself. Impressed, Legic remarks that Goku is an unusual child. Goku responds by revealing he really isn't a child, which confuses Legic. He then decides to leave Don Key's forces, telling Goku that next time, he'll be the one to win their battle. The two say their goodbyes, leaving Don Key with the Saiyans. Pan demands that he provide free housing for the Imeckians from now on, warning that if he doesn't, he'll have to answer to Goku. Don Key complies, and peace is restored on Imecka. The trio of Saiyans, along with Giru, now functioning as their Dragon Radar, set off to continue their quest for the Black Star Dragon Balls. Time passes and the trio arrive on planet Mamasu, a strange place resembling Earth, but where everything is 100 times larger. While exploring, Pan finds a new outfit that makes her look like a bee, running into trouble as she's kidnapped by a group of them. Goku and Trunks discover a giant apple tree, the latter attempting to locate a Black Star Dragon Ball with Giru. Together they find the 4-star ball, but their luck quickly changes when a massive apple falls on top of it. Before they can lift the apple to retrieve the Dragon Ball, a giant hawk swoops down, grabs the apple with the Dragon Ball still inside, and gives it to a giant. Moments later, Pan's scream is heard in the distance. Trunks tells Goku they need to help her, and he quickly flies off. Pan, meanwhile, has somehow ended up in a hive where the bees mistake her for their queen. When she tries to leave, a swarm of bees chase her. She soon encounters Goku and Trunks, who have just saved the real queen bee from a hungry spider on their way to Pan, and they all fly away together. Later, a hungry Goku smells a delicious fish being cooked in the distance and heads toward it, where the group find the giant and see the Dragon Ball stuck in the apple. When the giant eats the apple, the Dragon Ball gets lodged in his tooth, causing him great pain. Goku enters the giant's mouth and uses a Kamehameha to knock out the tooth, recovering the group's first Black Star Dragon Ball. The trio then head off into space to continue their search for the next one. They arrive on a peaceful planet called Jelbo, but immediately notice that the villagers are eerily quiet. As they begin to investigate, they learn from the villagers that a giant monster named Zunama has been terrorizing them with his extraordinary ability to cause earthquakes by simply shaking his massive whiskers. To make matters worse, Zunama is demanding a bride, showing up to threaten the villagers' survival if they don't comply. None of the women in the village are willing to become his bride, leaving the village chief's daughter, Lane, who has a Black Star Dragon Ball embedded in her hair, to do it instead. This excites Zunama, who leaves but vows to return the next day to take her to his home. Overwhelmed by what she's agreed to, Lane faints in despair. Later that evening, Goku, Trunks, and Pan offer to help the villagers deal with Zunama in exchange for the Dragon Ball, and everyone agrees, including Lane's real fiancé, Doma. Pan comes up with a plan to trick Zunama with a fake bride and cut off his whiskers, initially suggesting Goku to do it because he's the strongest, but then realizes he's too short. This leaves Trunks to pose as Zunama's bride, much to his dismay. He, however, agrees to go along with the plan in order to save the Earth. The next morning, Trunks, dressed in a wedding gown with a wig and makeup, is confronted by Zunama and told to take off his veil, much to the surprise of everyone who worries about having their cover blown. Convincing a clueless Zunama to wait until they're alone, Trunks leaves with him according to plan. The two arrive in Zunama's volcanic lair, with Goku, Pan, and Doma following close behind. In an attempt to gauge his surroundings, Trunks' wig falls off, but Zunama remains interested, mistaking him for a short-haired girl. Trunks manages to drug Zunama with spiked food at the wedding banquet the beast has prepared for them. When Zunama passes out, Doma and the others arrive and seize the opportunity to cut off one of his whiskers. However, when Zunama wakes up, he threatens to cause an earthquake, only for the group to realize he can't actually cause earthquakes, but can only predict them. Suddenly, a real explosion occurs, causing the volcano beneath the group to erupt. Goku uses a Kamehameha wave to propel everyone out of the tunnel, and another to destroy the volcano and stop the eruption. In gratitude, the Jelboians give the group the 6-star Black Dragon Ball, Zunama joining their village and becoming a friend. Things take a weird turn though as a mysterious stranger disguised as a villager grabs the Dragon Ball, reveals himself as a different species, and escapes with it in his spaceship. Goku, Trunks, and Pan set off in pursuit of the thief, revealed to be one of the Para brothers. In an attempt to escape, the brothers lure them to a rocky planet with a maze of caves at its center, intending for them to be devoured by the planet's giant worms. The brothers manage to give the trio the slip, leaving Goku, Trunks, and Pan lost in the labyrinth and head back to planet Luud. Upon their arrival, they present the Dragon Ball to Cardinal Muchi Muchi, the servant of Lord Luud. However, instead of a reward, the Cardinal was furious with them, knowing that those from whom they stole the Dragon Ball have another one aboard their ship. He demands that they retrieve it at once or face being turned into dolls, similar to another poor soul who was transformed moments ago. The Para brothers return to Bihei, the planet where they had left Goku and the others. When they find them, the trio are under attack by 4 giant worm monsters. Taking advantage advantage of the chaos, the Para brothers sneak onto their ship to steal the other Dragon Ball. As the trio desperately search for the other Black Star Dragon Ball, they're unable to locate it. Realizing their situation, they end up rooting for the Earth trio, realizing that if they die, they'll be turned into dolls. Goku soon gains the upper hand against the worms, and after offering some advice to Trunks and Pan, they manage to defeat the rest of the creatures. At this point, the Para brothers reveal themselves and perform their Para Para Boogie, putting the trio into an inescapable dancing trance. One of the brothers, Bon Para, takes the opportunity to deal blows to Goku, Trunks, and even Pan. Unbeknownst to the Para brothers or the heroes though, the defeated worms regain consciousness and cause a distraction by shutting off the music. The heroes seize this chance and knock out all the Para brothers with a single punch, much to their relief. However, after searching the Para brothers' spaceship, Trunks and Pan can't find their stolen Black Star Dragon Ball. When Trunks leaves the ship, Giru accidentally launches it to planet Luud with Pan still on board, leaving Goku and Trunks stranded on Bihei with their own spaceship. While Pan and Giru argue amongst themselves, the Para brothers inform Goku and Trunks where their ship is gone, and the two quickly follow. Pan and Giru land on planet Luud and use the Dragon Radar to locate the 6-star Black Star Dragon Ball. Pan sneaks into the castle she found, but a frightened Giru stays behind. Recklessly, Pan enters the shrine of Lord Luud and gets caught while trying to retrieve the Dragon Ball. Meanwhile, Giru comes across Trunks, Goku, and the Para brothers when they land, informing them of Pan's whereabouts. She battles her way to the main chamber in the castle and retrieves the Dragon Ball, but Cardinal Muchi Muchi stops her and turns her into a doll. As he prepares to throw Pan into a giant cauldron, Trunks and Goku arrive. Enraged, the Cardinal turns the Para brothers into dolls and tosses them aside. He then attacks Goku and Trunks and unleashes a giant robotic lion on them, but Goku quickly defeats it by dropping a boulder on its head. Meanwhile, the doll version of Pan is found by Giru, but he's kicked away and Pan is stolen by a mysterious figure. Simultaneously, the lion's explosion destroys Cardinal Muchi Muchi, but his whip reveals his true form, a tentacle threat named Muchi. Muchi reveals himself to be a formidable opponent, causing trouble for both Goku and Trunks. He manages to separate the two and focuses his attacks on Goku, who with no other choice, transforms into a Super Saiyan. Observing the battle between Muchi and Goku, the mysterious man named Daltaki reveals that Muchi is now outmatched. He decides to awaken Lord Luud, but notices he lacks the necessary energy, so he decides to appear before the Luud cult, persuading them to sacrifice themselves by becoming dolls. Too late, the cult realizes that Luud isn't the savior they believed him to be, and Daltaki transforms everyone all at once. He then uses their energy to fuel the awakening of Luud, deciding to use his downtime to creepily play with Pan's doll form. Meanwhile, Goku continues his battle with Muchi, but starts to lose ground when the villain ensnares him and begins draining his energy. As Goku reverts back to his normal state and seems to be in danger, Trunks suddenly reappears and blasts Muchi with a single energy attack, killing him instantly. The focus then shifts back to Daltaki, where we witness a bizarre scene. The villain attempting to remove Doll Pan's clothes, but is interrupted by Luud's energy alarm. Goku and Trunks return to the castle to search for Pan, but instead find the missing Dragon Ball. Daltaki then appears with Pan and summons Lord Luud, Goku and Trunks preparing for the next fight. The two face the awakened Luud, impressed by its immense power. As Daltaki makes his escape, Luud prevents the fighters from rescuing Pan. Goku tries to provoke the machine, and when he fires a Kamehameha, Luud barely reacts. The machine soon overpowers both Goku and Trunks, stepping on them. Meanwhile, Daltaki is busy playing dress-up with his new favorite doll Pan, when he's suddenly summoned by an unknown figure to another room. He enters a secret chamber where he communicates with a Dr. Mew via a giant screen, the mastermind behind the entire operation. Back in the fight, Goku and Trunks transform into Super Saiyans to push Luud off of them. Goku observes that while Luud has incredible power, it doesn't know how to use it effectively. Observing the fight, Dr. Mew reprimands Daltaki for awakening Luud before it reached its full power, pointing out that the machine is proving to be useless. Even after reverting to their normal forms, Goku and Trunks manage to overwhelm Luud with coordinated attacks. Sensing Pan's incredible latent power while in doll form, Dr. Mew orders Daltaki to have Luud absorb her so the machine can can reach its full potential. Daltaki, however, refuses to part with Pan. In response, Dr. Mu turns Daltaki into a doll himself and feeds both him and Pan to Luud. This sacrifice powers Luud to its full potential, making it a far more formidable foe than Goku and Trunks alone can handle. Luud, now at level 3, demonstrates its power by firing a single I-beam out of the planet's castle, triggering a colossal explosion that leaves Goku and Trunks in awe. As the two struggle against the powerful machine, Pan, now infused in Luud, takes out her frustrations on Daltaki for the harassment she suffered while being a doll. The two are surrounded by the hundreds turned into dolls as well, angry with Daltaki, who hints there's a way to escape from Luud's clutches. With Pan's assistance, the Power Brothers pressure him into revealing the secret. Luud's core is built around a single red cell, and destroying this cell would put an end to the machine mutant. Meanwhile, Goku is still losing ground against Luud. To assist her grandfather, Pan fires a ki blast at the red cell, prompting Luud to release Goku from its grasp. Daltaki explains that Luud must be attacked simultaneously from both inside and outside to be defeated, Pan attempting to relay the message to Goku and Trunks. Unsuccessful, the Power Brothers offer to use telepathy to reach the Saiyans, singing to help coordinate the attack. Goku and Trunks realize that only a perfectly timed strike to Luud's core will bring him down, and with some effort, Goku and Pan manage to synchronize their attacks. After chanting Pepper Pot, Pickle Pot, Purple Pot, Luud's cell is hit in sync, finally destroying him. This victory turns everyone back to normal, including Daltaki, who hurriedly escapes on his own spaceship. With the planet saved and 2 Black Star Dragon Balls now in their possession, the Saiyans move on to their next adventure. While en route to their next destination, Trunks suggests returning to Earth to replace Pan with Goten, which upsets Pan as she feels she's being seen as unhelpful. It's not long before Giru detects a Black Star Dragon Ball on the desert planet Rudees. Upon landing, the group are quickly overwhelmed by the intense desert heat, and soon after, a giant centipede attacks them, damaging their ship and causing their water supply to spill out. As Trunks repairs the ship, Pan tries to assist, but he tells her to play inside instead. Frustrated and feeling underestimated, Pan storms off into the desert, determined to find the Dragon Ball and prove her worth. Worried of Pan's safety, Giru later goes after her. After some time, Pan becomes dehydrated and suffers from heat exhaustion, only to be watched by another centipede. Meanwhile, Daltaki returns to Planet M2 to report to Dr. Mu, but is instead met by a man named General Rildo, who kills him for his failure. Dr. Mu tasks Rildo with stealing the Dragon Balls from Goku and Trunks, noting they should also be brought to him alive as they possess power that he could use for his research. Back on Rudees, Giru arrives just in time to fend off the centipede and save Pan. When she gains consciousness, she learns that Giru has also found the 5-star Dragon Ball in discovered water. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Pan thanks Giru and apologizes for treating him poorly. When Goku and Trunks arrive, the trio find a nearby oasis and use its water to refill the repaired cooling tanks. Reconsidering his earlier idea, Trunks apologizes to Pan for suggesting her replacement and acknowledges that she's a valuable member of the team. With Goku and his team having strengthened their relationship, the trio depart to search for the next Black Star Dragon Ball. During their space journey, Giru continuously beats Pan at a video game. Shortly after, they pass the planet M2, which happens to be Giru's home planet. The next morning, Giru and Pan try to persuade Trunks to land there since Giru hasn't visited in years. However, with Dr. Mu after the Dragon Balls, he says they should keep moving. The two convince Trunks to land for just a day, and the group take off for the planet. Meanwhile, on M2's surface, General Rildo monitors the Grand Tour spaceship's trajectory. Seeing it approaching their planet, he praises Giru for luring their enemies and the 3 Black Star Dragon Balls right to them. The spaceship lands in a forest, and Goku, Trunks, and Pan venture into a seemingly deserted city. Suddenly, thousands of Giru-like robots appear, all acknowledging Giru and saying he deserves praise. Giru strangely takes off alone and contacts General Rildo, who commends him for his strategy of infiltrating the trio, gaining their trust, and leading them to M2. Giru then returns to Goku, Trunks, and Pan, Trunks noting before this that the robot's been acting strange ever since they landed on the planet. The group soon grow hungry and start searching for food. Trouble finds them though when they're confronted confronted by a powerful group of robots called the Sigma Force. Giru joins the robots on their platform, the group revealing to Goku and the others that their friend has really been working for them the entire time. The trio attack in disbelief, prompting one of the robots to disintegrate and reform around Goku and Trunks, incapacitating them with sleeping gas. As Pan laments Giru's betrayal, the robots, including Giru, fly away with an unconscious Goku and Trunks to General Rildo. Now, a heartbroken Pan must find a way to rescue her friends and retrieve the stolen Dragon Balls. With Goku and Trunks captured, Pan decides to infiltrate the machine base. She sneaks in undetected for a while, but soon finds herself surrounded by robots. To avoid getting caught, Pan disguises herself as one of them. Meanwhile, Goku and Trunks are asleep in capsule chambers, being scanned by the robots to assess their strength. One of them noticed something surprising about Goku in particular, reporting to General Rildo and recognizing his immeasurable strength. Concurrently, Giru allows General Rildo to download the Saiyan's fighting data into the Mega Cannon Sigma Force as a means of anticipating their battle moves. Meanwhile, Pan joins a group of identical-looking robots, but when they walk through a wall, her disguise nearly gets caught. Fortunately, instead of getting captured, she's deemed defective and thrown into a room with other defective robots, one of them revealing Goku and Trunks' location. It's not long before the walls begin to close in to crush the defective robots, prompting Pan to blast her way out and save them. This explosion captures Rildo's attention to Pan's presence in the base, the Sigma Force sending Nat, one of its members, to handle her. The robot initially seems to have the upper hand thanks to its acquired data, but he reveals this to Pan, the Saiyan now realizing he can only predict moves that she's already used. She counters with her Maiden's Rage technique as she regrets befriending Giru, destroying Nat completely. Just then, Goku wakes up, around the same time that the Sigma Force is observing Giru's memories with the Dragon Team. Pan breaks into the lab, prompting one of its group's members to strike her. Goku unleashes his power and breaks free from the capsule chamber, freeing Trunks in the process and prepares to battle the Sigmas. The Sigma Force mocks Pan for being knocked unconscious, but acknowledges her achievement in destroying Nat, the first Sigma Force member to ever be defeated. Having heard enough, Goku challenges the remaining three to battle. While Goku engages the Sigma Force, Trunks carries Pan back to their spaceship to help her recover. Initially, Goku seems to be at a disadvantage as the Sigma Force has all of his moves downloaded into their systems. Realizing they aren't allowed to kill Goku, the three robotic warriors instead decide to prepare him for Dr. Mu. Goku manages to counter their blasts, but a blow is landed to his stomach. Pretending to be hurt, Goku suddenly launches a blast of his own. The Sigmas retreat into the floor and begin toying with Goku, lighting him on fire from behind and pulling his feet out from under him. Rather than figuring out their tricks though, Goku decides to destroy the building, knocking them from the walls. Left without their hiding place, the three robots decide to abandon their orders and kill Goku. Meanwhile, Trunks arrives at the spaceship with Pan, immediately noticing that their belongings are scattered all over the ship. Alarmed, he checks the bag where they kept the Black Star Dragon Balls and discovers that all three have been stolen. He wakes Pan and the two prepare to confront Giru and get the Dragon Balls back by force. Elsewhere, the three robots combine into the Super Mega Cannon Sigma, gaining extra power. However, Goku remains unimpressed. He uses their extendable arms as a ramp and lands a powerful kick before being punched away. Recovering, Goku resumes the fight, now using moves that the Sigma Force has never seen before. He comments that while the robots have gained extra strength, they haven't gotten any faster. In response, they transform into the Super Sigma aerial attack mode. They match Goku's speed and initiate their Killer Driller attack, at which point Goku stops it and triples his strength in base form. Watching the fight, General Rildo realizes that Goku's been holding back the entire time and grows angry. Meanwhile, Goku launches a few more attacks at the Sigma Force and finishes them off with a Kamehameha. Just as Goku is about to return to the ship for some food, he senses Rildo's high battle power heading in that direction and flies off to intercept him. At the ship, Trunks and Pan also sense General Rildo's immense power approaching and prepare for battle. Goku arrives at the ship just in time, with General Rildo following suit. Goku warns Trunks and Pan that his power is even stronger than Majin Buu, and grows excited at the impending battle. Pan launches in to attack Rildo, knocking him to the ground, seemingly rendering him unconscious. Goku and Trunks are amazed by Pan's strength, and Pan insists they stop treating her like a child to keep things fair. Just then, General Rildo gets back up, completely unharmed, which frightens Pan. Rildo unleashes his metal breath attack, and while Trunks manages to push Pan out of harm's way, he gets hit by the energy beam himself, encasing him in metal, and disappears. Rildo reveals that Trunks has been transported to the tower behind them, and will be prepped for dissection by Dr. Mu. Pan flies off to rescue Trunks, while Goku begins his battle with General Rildo. He dodges Rildo's metal breath attacks, one of them encasing their ship. The two engage in a series of attacks, neither inflicting any real damage. Meanwhile, Pan reaches the building where Trunks is held, fighting her way through robots and interrogates one for Trunks' location. At the same time, General Rildo unleashes more of his moves on Goku, his mechanical arm dragging him around the city ruins. Goku, however, is unfazed, taking the opportunity to unleash a barrage of ki blasts that loosen Rildo's grip. Trunks is transported to Dr. Mu's lab just as Pan arrives, prompting her to take out her frustration on Giru. However, Giru activates a button that ejects anything non-mechanical from the room, forcing Pan outside the building. Back on the battlefield, General Rildo grows tired of Goku's games, the latter responding with an overwhelming Kamehameha that levels the entire area. Rildo is slightly injured, but more than capable of finishing his fight. Suddenly, the Sigma Force, or their DNA replicants in the dub, realize they're still functional and manage to ensnare Goku. Having had enough, Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan and breaks free, destroying the replicants, and surprises General Rildo, who notes his strength has increased 100-fold. Goku challenges General Rildo to power up as well, prompting him to comply as he absorbs all the components of the Sigma Force to transform into Hyper Meta Rildo. Beginning round 2 of their epic battle, Meta Rildo begins turning everything around him into metal. He and Goku continue to trade blows, the latter seemingly gaining the upper hand. Meanwhile, Pan is at the tower, relentless in her pursuit to destroy Giru. She keeps getting expelled by the corrosive removal system, which liquefies the walls and floors to eject any intruder from the building. On the battlefield, Goku lands in front of Meta Rildo, the latter manipulating the surrounding metal to seemingly heal his injuries and crystallize himself. In response, Goku prepares a giant Kamehameha, just as Rildo reveals himself in a sleeker looking form and turns the surrounding area into metal. He's able to exploit this to his advantage, forcing Goku to drop his Kamehameha after ensnaring him with metal trees. Pan, meanwhile, stubbornly continues her efforts to re-enter the tower. Rildo's robots try to halt her, but she has no trouble destroying them. She then encounters the Scholar bot she freed earlier, who offers to help her deactivate the corrosive removal system. Though it looks like Goku is severely outmatched, he refuses to back down. He continues his battle with Meta Rildo as a Super Saiyan while Dr. Mu observes the battle. Mu is thrilled about the new opportunities he now has with a living Saiyan in his grasp. He taunts Trunks, promising him that Goku and Pan will soon join him as captives. Working together, Pan and the Scholar bot come face to face with Giru again. Pan chases Giru and monologues while the Scholar bot deactivates the corrosive removal system. Realizing he's outnumbered, Giru escapes through a wall and returns with reinforcements. While Pan is distracted by them, building up to launch her own Kamehameha wave, Giru activates the backup corrosive removal system, causing Pan to be expelled from the building once more. However, this time, the 3 Black Star Dragon Balls follow her outside. As Pan tries to figure out how the Dragon Balls ended up with her, Goku continues his struggle with Meta Rildo, the latter revealing that the only way to destroy him is to eliminate every piece of metal on the planet M2. As the battle between Goku and General Rildo intensifies, Pan arrives and informs Goku that she's regained possession of the 3 Black Star Dragon Balls. Seeing an opportunity, Meta Rildo decides to use Pan to his advantage and charges toward her, prompting Goku to go on the defensive. While Goku is pursuing Meta Rildo, he spits his breath at the ground, bringing it to life. The ground rises up and engulfs Goku, restricting his movement. Simultaneously, Meta Rildo breathes on Pan and traps her, same as Trunks. Powering down to base form, Goku suffers the same fate, trapped in a metal casing. They're taken back to Meta Rildo's base, where the latter, now back in his original form, transports Goku and Pan to Dr. Mu's hideout. Dr. Mu is prepared to dissect the Saiyans and turn them into machine men when suddenly, Giru arrives. He pretends to be cooperating but begins firing missiles at Dr. Mu's equipment. As Dr. Mu and his minions are distracted by the chaos, Giru takes the opportunity to free Goku and Pan. Now liberated, they prepare to attack Dr. Mu and commend Giru for his excellent work. However, this moment of celebration allows Dr. Mu's robots to seize Trunks. Pan frantically joins in a game of keep away, but when one of the robots throw Trunks, they overestimate the range and he crashes to the ground in pieces. Pan begins to cry, believing she's failed to save him, but Trunks suddenly speaks and tells her to look up. He's alive and reveals that everything that's happened until now has been a part of a plan between he and Giru to get close to Dr. Mu. As Trunks, Goku, and Pan lead a panicked Dr. Mu into another chamber, the evil scientist begins to tremble with fear as his master plan is about to be revealed. The Saiyans follow Dr. Mu into his secret room and force him to reveal Baby, his ultimate creation. Trunks explains all of what he knows so far, noting that if Baby were to become full grown, his power could surpass them all, possibly even before then. Apparently, Trunks discovered Baby after hearing rumors from Giru, spread around by the robot community of M2. He cut off the life form's energy supply via his machine as a result, seemingly preventing his resurrection. As Dr. Mu weeps over what seems to be Baby dying, the water around him starts exploding. Trunks explains that he reprogrammed Baby's life support into the plumbing system to save everyone, leaving Dr. Mu powerless to stop it. Dr. Mu removes the computer's lid and attempts to reroute it to save Baby, while Trunks reveals that Mu's plan was to take over the entire galaxy. For Baby to be completed, he needed to mobilize all the robots on the planet, leading to the creation of General Rildo and the other robot warriors. Trunks further explains that Giru had lost his memory up until they neared the planet, but he took a significant risk by sneaking him into Dr. Mu's lab before Trunks was experimented on. Giru freed Trunks from his prison and replaced him with a metallic slab copy that was broken in the previous episode, while Trunks sneaked into Baby's chamber to confront him. Dr. Mu's computer goes haywire and it seems Baby is doomed, but Dr. Mu refuses to give up. He tells Baby that he's made from creations across the galaxy, granting him the strength to overcome anything, but Baby remains unresponsive. Goku, a bit disappointed because he wanted to fight Baby, moves closer to examine the capsule, and Baby's eyes suddenly open. The entity begins to power up, proving he's very much alive, and uses the remaining energy stored in the capsule to reach his true form. Dr. Mu celebrates, claiming that Baby's power is already too deep within his circuits to be destroyed. As Giru tries to flee, Pan holds him back while Baby continues to transform and bursts out of the capsule. The power surge aggressively pushes the three Saiyans back against the wall, causing circuit damage to Dr. Mu, making him collapse. Goku, seeing Baby fully formed, warns everyone to stay alert, but is shocked at how powerful he is despite not being fully developed. Immediately, Baby scans the three Saiyans and decides to kill Goku first. However, Goku is clever and coordinates a three-way attack with Pan and Trunks that seem to destroy Baby completely. Believing this to be true, Dr. Mu mourns Baby's defeat. The lab starts to go haywire as a spaceship arrives to evacuate Dr. Mu, but a small substance enters his leg before he leaves. Pan attempts to stop Dr. Mu, but Goku and Trunks hold her back, assuring her that Baby is dead and Dr. Mu can no longer conquer the galaxy. Giru asserts he can fix their ship so they can return to gathering the Dragon Balls, while Dr. Mu decides to regain his strength before battling the Saiyans again. Suddenly, Baby bursts out of his back, revealing he was the mastermind behind everything, and used Dr. Mu to give him the energy he needed to fuel his resurrection. As Baby crushes the remains of Mu, the black one-star ball flies from the villain's head. Baby glares at M2 from space, swearing to bring it to completion, and soon sets his sights on targeting the Saiyans next. Baby used and destroyed Dr. Mu to make a great escape, but will he be as merciless with Goku, Pan, and Trunks, whom he intends to destroy? Will our heroes be made aware that he lives before it's too late? Find out when we summarize the Baby Saga of Dragon Ball GT.